Sometimes you're in that middle ground and it just feels a bit tricky. You know where you need to get to, but where you are just doesn't feel comfortable, and you want to get moving. You want to get people around you moving.
So this comes from a 25-year-old woman, and she says, the guy I'm dating is amazing, in capital letters, so ambitious, so dedicated to his faith. His new ventures have really affected how much time we see each other. He's aware and we speak about it, but for now, nothing can really change. I'm trying to be patient, but I do feel like he needs to try and find a balance. What are you thinking, Ritz?
Well, firstly, I love that she's hyping up her man. That's lovely to see, isn't it, in a relationship, when you see the other part of the couple just talking so beautifully.
It's like she's really celebrating
what she admires about him.
And what he's doing in his path in life.
I love that. But do you remember what I said? Like, I love a contradiction.
I
feel like she's contradicting herself a little bit here. I feel like what she's maybe saying, or what I'm hearing, is like, we're talking and I understand, like, right now I just have to be patient. But he needs to get a move on. So she's not really being patient. And I just wonder, you know how we were talking about that, sometimes you're in that middle ground and it just feels a bit tricky. You know where you need to get to, but where you are just doesn't feel comfortable, and you want to get moving. You want to get people around you moving. I think she's finding that hard.
Understandably so. Understandably so. Like when you are just really happy in your relationship and you love being with that person, you're inspired by them, you admire them, you really respect them, you want to be with each other. But I also wonder what his perception of balance looks like and whether that really aligns with hers. Because she's kind of saying, like, we've spoken about it, he knows how I feel, I'm also trying to respect what he's going through, but it's like she's kind of mixing the two, I think, maybe. Is it that he needs balance or you need balance? Do you know what I mean?
I feel like she's saying, I need him to come back.
Yeah, she is. But she's posing it as, I think he needs balance. Do you know what I mean?
So the onus is on him to figure it out.
Like he should figure it out, what balance means. And is that right or wrong?
Well, exactly. I think, as you said, maybe their ideas of balance are different.
Are different. Yeah.
Like, he might feel that at the moment, even though it is off kilter, that's working for him. Because seems like he's investing in himself at the moment. And when I guess we do invest in ourselves, other things that may have been a priority will start to just slip a bit. Not saying that's right or wrong. It's just part of those consequences. And I think she's maybe feeling that consequence. That's why I'm saying I think she's stuck in that hard place of, I want to celebrate him and all that he's doing, and he's following his passions, and I want that for him, but I really miss him. And I want more of him, but I want him to see that. I want it to come from him, that he's recognizing this is out of balance and he needs to reprioritize a bit.
Do you think that's fair to put that on him?
Honestly, if she was in my therapy room, I would say, no, we can't change him, love.
I think you can kind of, you can express your expectations and you can express your needs within the relationship and what you feel the relationship needs as well. And it's for the other person to say, yeah, I agree, or actually, no, I see things in a different way. And then the onus then comes back on you to, can I see this through? Can I tolerate this for a time? Or actually, is this just too unbearable for me and we're not actually going to be aligned in the future?
But I feel like they've done that. So she's saying that we've talked about it.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm saying it's a contradiction.
Yeah.
And
You're not letting her up. We keep going round and round as well, don't we?
Oh my God, we're recreating it in here.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is what they feel. Like they're having these conversations. They think they're getting somewhere. Yeah. And then it's back to, but hang on a second, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Because that's what she's saying, isn't it? We're talking, but nothing's changing.
Yeah.
And I want more.
Yeah.
Or not if I even want more, I want you. It sounds like I want you back.
Yeah. I want something to change.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, I think you also have to really own it.
Yeah. And so I don't, when you said like, what would you say to her? What do you think? I think that's what I was saying is she needs to own that. It's not on him to necessarily own it.
Yeah.
It's, she needs to be the one communicating, which I think she is, to say, yes, I know I agreed to be patient, but I'm finding it really tough. Or I feel like we maybe need to talk about it again. Maybe it felt like it was resolved at the time, but I'm still going through it in my head.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's resolved.
Yeah. And it could be because something hasn't changed. But also I find this when working with couples, when one person feels like they have to keep repeating something and it's not changing and they keep coming back. But usually it's because the other person hasn't fully heard them.
Right.
So sometimes they can feel that if they feel really heard and validated, that's enough for them to say, okay.
That helps with tolerating, doesn't it?
It does. But if they don't feel like, no, you're not getting it, you're not hearing me, and they're like, well, I am.
Yeah.
And no. So there's something about what it means to feel heard and what that looks like for this person.
When we were just talking, I at times felt like we weren't hearing each other.
I know.
Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah.
I feel like we're recreating this couple.
Yeah. I know. It's so interesting.
And when I wasn't listening or when I wasn't hearing you, how did you feel?
A bit like confused, like no. Like as if something wasn't clear.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. I felt like I have to explain myself again.
Yeah.
She's not getting it. I have to, like, am I not getting it? It then made me question myself. Am I not getting it? Am I not saying this correctly?
Yeah. Should we say a bit about for people that necessarily aren't privy to these mirrors and recreation in therapy and like where this kind of comes from?
Yeah.
So I would say this comes more from our psychodynamic
training.
Thank you. Where we think about how some things can be projected, how some things can be replayed, and how we can really embody like what's going on for the client in the client room.
Yeah, we can often become a canvas and an empty vessel in the therapy room for clients where, especially when we like give like nothing of ourselves away, that they can come in and project whatever they need to onto us, into us, and it can evoke quite strong feelings in us as a therapist. But I think the great thing about our training is obviously we've been in therapy for 3 years ourselves, so we have quite good awareness of what's our stuff and what's a client's stuff. But this is sometimes like one of my favourite ways of working.
I know, you love it.
I love it so much. Because when you get that feeling, like how we were getting now, I'm like, and you don't necessarily get it straight away. No. It might take like a few sessions. But it gives you so much information. Yeah. It's so meaty. It's so juicy. And the conversations and the learning and the awareness that can come out of it with a client can be profound.
Yeah.
Profound.
Yeah.
And I said that's why I was quite keen to name it with you.
You love it, don't you?
I love this way of working. I really did love it at university as well.
You did?
Yeah, we did the training. It really like spoke.
It really resonated with you.
Yeah, it really did resonate. What was your favourite way of training at uni when you were learning?
Good question. I think my favourite way of working was just being authentic and just being radically myself in the room with clients, and bringing our relationship into the fore. I love working like that. So talking about how I'm also feeling, not that I make the therapy about me, but I think it can give good context for good information for the other person if you respond from a place of, yeah, this is what I'm picking up. This is how I'm also feeling in the room with you. Are you aware of this? Like, what do you make of that? Or I said this. What do you think of that? Do you agree with what I said? Are you just people pleasing right now? Or do you want to tell me that you don't like what I said? Because then it gives us a chance to address the relationship in this room.
Because that's the best vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, test it out in the room. And if you can build that trust and that safety for your client to trust you, so that they can start testing out their different ways of behaving that's healthier for them, and they know you're not going to abandon them, then that gives them the skills to then go and try it out there
with other people.
Exactly. One thing I was actually going to ask you though is, how do you know when you have that feeling? Like, where do you feel it?
Like when I'm being radically honest, radically me.
Yeah, when you're being authentic. How does it feel to you?
I think I just feel it everywhere. I tell you what. When I feel like I do not have the freedom to be myself and to address elephants in the room, things that are so clear, but I'm like, I'm not sure if they can tolerate us going there yet. I feel sleepy. Which is weird. I feel sleepy in the room, and it's like I'm struggling to stay awake because it's like I'm being made useless, being rendered useless in the room. So it's like I just start to shut down. It's like I'm being killed off in a way.
So your authenticity energizes you?
It does, yeah.
I saw that now as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely come alive in the room, but when I feel like I'm not being allowed to be useful to this person right now, my energy just shuts down.
And those sessions can be really hard, can't they? Because they still need that.
Yeah.
They still need that
to use me in that
time.
way.
Yeah, and that can be really hard because you don't feel useful.
Yeah.
Or in that moment, you don't feel useful.
Yes, exactly. But then this is why it's great that we have peer supervision. We have supervision with our supervisors, our clinical supervisors as well.
Shout out to P.
Yeah, shout out to...
Love him.
He's great. So I can really voice this there. Then it's like, okay, how can I bring myself back again? How can I begin to be useful again to this client? Or how can I feed back to them in a way how their behavior, their passive aggression usually in a way, shuts down us working together?
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense for people.
I think it does.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I hope that has been a helpful answer.
I think so. I think sometimes our answers to these dilemmas, they just spark different ideas for us, don't they? Whether they're personal, professional.
Yeah.
And just linking it back to, I mean, I haven't thought about how we trained in that way for quite a while. When we were both just saying it, it just made me start having those thoughts again.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Yeah. Because I guess we're both at this point now in our careers where it feels so authentic the way we work. It's not necessarily, by the book or being informed in a specific way. It just feels quite natural. So it's still quite nice to sometimes go back to those.
I know. Go back to the
theories and ideas.
Yeah.
What have you guys learnt today? Please let us know in the comments below. We love reading them and hearing from you. And remember to like and subscribe down below and on our socials. Thank you for joining us on the floor today, and we're looking forward to seeing you really soon. But for now, it's bye from me, Dr. Ritz.
And bye from me, Dr. Vicky. We'll see you on the floor soon. Bye.